The one thing about negativity is that it's stupid. It's pointless. When you see people around you, when you see your own self, when you see your own insecurity, your own judgments, your own problems, your own jealousy, your own lack of self-worth, and then you see that reflecting somewhere else, you see someone else also feels that, and you see that we all are in a personal war, we are in a collective war, we are constantly fighting life. We are constantly fighting circumstances. We are constantly fighting people. At one point or the other, we realize the stupidity, the pointlessness of negativity. We realize that this is not it. This is not working. Doesn't matter at what point of time in your life you realize this, but there is some point, especially in this time period, especially if you are alive now, especially if you are a part of this consciousness explosion. There is a lot of literature, there's a lot of work being done, there's a lot of awakening that is happening via so many channels, that the pointlessness of negativity is being thrown at our faces. Are you fed up? Are you fed up of not being able to trust yourself? Are you constantly watching, observing, calculating between your head and your heart, between freedom and obligations, between adventure and security, between logic and emotions? Do you spend a lot of your time fighting between these two, fragmented? Which one of you is the truth then? Is the being that can see the truth, or is the being that is fearful the truth? This is where navel consciousness comes in. The human birthing system is so cosmically primitive in Kali Yuga that right at your birth, you lose the only contact you have with your quantum self, your God self. And I don't like to call it the God self because some people get offended with God. I want to address everyone, the logical minded, the heart minded, the navel minded. So let's call this the quantum self. What is the quantum self? The quantum self is the self that has all the possibilities here, and any one or infinite possibilities can be your reality. So this quantum self is with you at all times, and this quantum self is going to project and become you, me, which I call the causal self. So the quantum being has all the possibilities, and any of the possibilities can realize into the causal self that is in this finite form, in this experience. What is the bridge between these two beings? Navel. The navel is the bridge between the quantum and the causal. The quantum gets projected through the navel into the causal, and from the causal it moves into the heart, into the mind, into the body, into the aura, into the chakras, in everywhere, and then weaves a life that we see as reality. During Kali Yuga, navel, the birthing process, damages the navel, and that causes the connection to be defective. And as the connection becomes defective, your quantum self is not able to get projected through this connection, navel, and your causal self goes into the deprivation triad. It becomes a deprived state. And as it becomes deprived, we weave a life around it that is full of deprivation, that is full of insecurity, fear, separation, anxiety, lack, loneliness, no self-worth at all, no confidence, self-doubt, distrust, everything that you can think of, depression. If that is what we are experiencing in our life, It is because the quantum being is not getting through to the causal. That's because the navel at this point of time is damaged. The whole point is that right at your birth during Kali Yuga, your greatest gift from the universe, your quantum being, is lost. This loss is what makes you restless, and the awareness that you are a quantum being, that anything is possible, that ecstasy, abundance, health is your basic right, is your basic foundation, is the truth of your life. This awareness always stays with you, literally, stubbornly stays with you. So in your heart there's this nagging feeling that you are way bigger, that the life is way bigger, that possibilities are way bigger. But your causal self tells you otherwise, because you've tried, you've failed, you see people failing, you see people angry, you see people poor, you see people frustrated, you see people not having worked out. So the truth, which one of you is the truth, the quantum or the causal? Both of you are the truth. Both of you are the truth, because it's a technological matter. You are a quantum being. So please remember from now on that whenever you envision something, whenever you see something greater, it's not an illusion, it's not just a dream, it's not a hallucination. You are experiencing your quantum self. Whenever you have an aspiration for a greater life, for a greater purpose, for you, for others, for the world, you are not hallucinating. You are not just a dreamer. You are not a weirdo. You are not a wacko. You are tasting your quantum being. And then you might also experience your insecurity and your fear. That time, don't get entangled by it. Don't invest in it. Don't weave into the stories. Observe, witness that you are now experiencing the deprivation triad, the causal being. And at some point, let's bring these two beings together so that what you can experience is ecstasy, abundance, health.
What really attracted me to Udumbara Gesu was that she's spiritual, but she's also very much down to earth. She's very clear about that it's no use being spiritual or esoteric if there isn't this element of the real world into it. That's what really amazes me about her. Because I always thought that esoteric meant being a fluff ball who was hovering 7 centimeters above ground and not getting their act together and not being able to pay their rent, because there are a lot of examples of that kind of people around.
That kind of woman that she is, it's awfully inspiring. Trying to live up to that. Everything she's taught me, I try to let my writing reflect that, because I know there's a lot of people reading my books.
I never met a so young person, so clear, so charming also, and so kind. I think she's a very great teacher.
I wish the journey to awaken absolute clarity could be taught at school already, so that when we meet life, we are already equipped with our own inner clarity. All of us can only imagine the amount of suffering and struggle that would cut short for all of us. I've known her now for almost 2 decades, so I have seen her up close in her greatest difficulties. I watched her help all types of seekers find their own inner clarity. And that is why I can say she has the heart of a realized woman. She helps you to tap into the upgraded version of yourself.
It's not like a vaccination drive. Not everybody can be put in one row and given a vaccine and say, now you are absolutely clear, let's run this world.
Now I feel like a tree, grounding my roots in my own absolute clarity and reaching out ascending beyond this existing paradigm into truths that I know to be true for myself and a lot of you out there. I know her. I'm closely associated with Udumbara Gesu, a being capable of holding the grace of the ascended masters and having the presence, the sharp, lightning presence of a pragmatic teacher. Imagine someone on a battlefield, a warrior facing life and death, but knowing with every movement, every moment, that their sword is just a channel for grace to come through.
So Udumbara is all about authenticity. She's not playing mind games. She's very clear with her thoughts and her actions, and she's walking the talk.
But if you are not interested in you, then you won't journey with me. Then you will be a one-time product buying customer. Which I don't mind. You can, of course, I would love to make that money.
But you're not really interested.
I'm not interested. So show me something that you have. And your resonance, your willingness to change, your willingness to work on you, your willingness to love you, your willingness to include you in your life, in your process.
She helps you to finally unleash the nuclear being that lies buried in all of us.
You were born with a direct connection to a timeless, unconditional clarity within you. When you're connected to it fully, you don't need any babysitters and agents for your consciousness. You're absolutely clear in life. You learn how to live a naturally ecstatic life. The kind of life that is built on self-trust. It's built on truth and it's built on courage. It gives you the ability to see through the fog. It gives you the power to outdo redundant paradigms and look at your own ecstatic life.